It is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, and we're gonna talk about it. If we haven't met before, my name's Jess. I'm the head coach and the owner here at Shine Fit, and this is a cause. If you've been here a long time, you know why it's so important to me personally, why it's so important to Shine Fit as a community, as a company, as a brand. But first, I want to give you some reasons of why it should be important to you to care about this week. Now, what is National Eating Disorder Awareness Week? This is a public health campaign every February to educate and provide awareness around eating disorders, as well as some urgency of why you should care, why it's so important. Here's the thing, 8.6% of women will develop an eating disorder in their lifetime, and 4.07% of men, okay? That means 1 in every 11 women is likely to develop an eating disorder in their lifetime. 1 in every 11 women, that's somebody you know. That could be a sister, a best friend, a daughter, a mother, an aunt, a coworker. That's somebody that you know. And eating disorders disproportionately impact certain groups of people. So younger people, women, as I just said, people of color, and people heavier body weight. 95% of people who are diagnosed with an eating disorder are between the ages of 8 and 25. 95% of people that are diagnosed with an eating disorder are between the ages of 8 and 25. Okay? In terms of people of color, they are half as likely to be diagnosed or to receive treatment of an eating disorder. People with a heavier body weight are 2.45 times more likely, so almost 2.5 times as likely to engage in disordered eating behaviors, and yet less than half as likely to be diagnosed or to receive treatment. So you can see it disproportionately impacts marginalized groups of people. Regardless of that, if you're wondering, okay, what's an eating disorder? This is a diagnosable mental disorder wherein you have not great habits around eating. And this impacts your physical or mental health, okay? That means you maybe eat too much or too little, such as bulimia or anorexia. The difference between an eating disorder and disordered eating, because I've used those terms a little bit interchangeably throughout this video so far, an eating disorder is in the DSM-5. It's a diagnosable condition, whereas disordered eating is kind of a catch-all term to explain anyone who has a poor relationship or poor behaviors around food and eating, but maybe it's not significant enough to be diagnosed as a clinical disorder. This can be as simple as dieting, as really restricting or feeling really guilty about eating certain types of foods. And I see this with the large majority of women we work with currently or have worked with in the past have some disordered eating habits because of this prevalence in diet culture to restrict, to go on diets, to count calories, and unrealistic beauty standards and fitness standards that push us to try to aim for a certain body shape or beauty ideal. So, eating disorders impact 1 in every 1 in 11 women, but disordered eating impacts many, many more than that. And this is why you should care. Now, why do we care? On a very personal level, I struggled with very disordered eating habits in my adolescence and my teen years. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know that it wasn't normal to be counting calories or restricting food or tracking everything I ate on MyFitnessPal or feeling guilty about eating chocolate or candy or cake or treats. I didn't know, right? And it was certainly unhealthy at the time. Another rising term is orthorexia. This is not diagnosed, it's not recognized in the DSM-5, but orthorexia is a term that describes an obsession with clean or super healthful eating. So kind of fearing bad foods or junk foods and being really, really obsessed with eating quote unquote clean. That's probably again, it's not diagnosable condition, but I probably had that on a personal level. On a business level, so many women we've worked with, we've coached, members we have had disordered eating habits and built a healthy relationship with food, and actually dozens have been in active eating disorder recovery and found a way to move their bodies that wasn't tied to changing the way they look. And that's the thing, as a fitness company, unfortunately in our culture today, exercise is inherently tied to changing the way you look. And for so many women, they believe that the only reason to exercise would be to lose weight or to change the way you look. But when that's a motivation, you're actually missing out on a lot of the real benefits of exercise, like mental health, like strength, like confidence, like more energy, better mood, better emotional regulation, better sleep, having a community, making new friends, having an emotional outlet. All of these things you benefit from exercise that have nothing to do with changing the shape of your body, right? And so when the two are inherently linked together, that's why we care so much, is helping women exercise to change the way they feel, not the way they look. We want you to exercise to change the way you feel, not the way you look, to feel better, to feel more confident, because as a whole, at Shine Fit, we're on a mission to end diet culture and close the confidence gap. We want 100% of women to feel beautiful in their own skin and take care of themselves. We want 100% of adults to get enough physical activity, which A, can be fun, and B, can be very efficient. Doesn't have to take a lot of time, just 2.5 hours a week, that's it. So to have a healthy relationship with fitness, which includes not only exercise, but also food and body image, is what we're really trying to do. So this week, National Eating Disorder Awareness Week, my ask to you, my request is spend 5 or 10 minutes just doing some research, okay? Look up some of those facts I gave you before. They sound crazy, those statistics, but this is why we should care, and also why it's so important to have an understanding of what eating disorders are, what disordered eating looks like, what are some warning signs, and what can you do to help. And if you don't know where to start, my best recommendation, we're gonna be sharing content throughout the week, but go do your own research, look at NAEDIC, the National Eating Disorder Information Center, okay? This is a great place to start. It's a national charity. They share tons of different resources that you can learn, and you can get support, or you can support a loved one if you need. And just take this week to learn a little bit more, because like I said, 8.6% of women, that's 1 in 11 women, that's somebody you know in their lifetime is gonna have an eating disorder, unfortunately, unlikely, and you want to be able to recognize the signs and support them, because eating disorders and even disordered eating, having an unhealthy relationship with food, it's preventable, it's treatable, and there is a better way to have a healthy relationship with food, with exercise, and your body, and that's what we want for you. So thanks for listening, and I can't say Happy Eating Disorder Awareness Week, so I'll just end it off by saying that's not really a happy thing that we have to celebrate this. So thanks for listening, and thanks for caring, and hopefully thanks for sharing. That's a great way to end. Thanks for listening, thanks for caring, and thank you for sharing.